I'd like to call the September Policy and Academics Committee meeting to order, please. B, roll call.
Ms. Bourgeois.
Here.
Dr. Dion. Here. Ms. Wells.
Here.
All present.
Item number 2, policy and procedure, proposed policy revisions and new policies. A, to approve revisions to policy ABD, school superintendent legal status. Martin.
Yes, Madam President. This is, excuse me, Madam Chairman, the only change here is to change the words Director of Middle and Secondary Education to Chief Academic Officer. This is in line with the new duties and responsibilities to be assumed should the superintendent not be able to perform his or her duties. So this is a name change.
So moved.
Seconded by Ms. Wells. All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Is there any public comment? Any board comment? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Good job. Item B, to approve revisions to policy GBAA, compensation guidelines / overtime. Mr. Martin.
Yes, ma'am. Once again, this is a title change to reflect the new structure as we continue to go through policies throughout the school board's policy manual. We're trying to find where we reference position titles that no longer exist, and we have yet another here. We referenced an assistant superintendent, and the new name needs to be executive director.
So moved.
Seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board comment? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, to approve revisions to policy JBD, student absences and excuses. Mr. Martin.
Yes, ma'am. The board recently adopted an amendment to this policy, and in adopting the amendment to this policy, there was an errant deletion of some verbiage that we want to retain. So forethought, as you know, writes policies for many school districts, and the language in here is specific to LaFouche Parish because we articulate very clearly when a student is suspended or expelled, they are not allowed to be on campus or attend extracurricular things. We've contacted forethought. The deletion during the amendment process was done in error, and so this is simply putting back what was never brought to the board as a change, but you adopted a policy that did not include this language, and so Mr. Amity recommended that we put it back by board vote and approval.
So moved.
All right, seconded by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board comment? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 3, new business. A, approve revisions to the board member handbook. Ms. Marion Petit.
I can do it, Ms. Petito. Just correct me if I make a mistake. We do have one amendment, which is on page 10. It is changing the word elect to appoint. This is a transition from the way the board created its advisory committee in the past, where it was an election, and now it's an appointment based on title. So we just changed the language there. We also deleted the exit interview of board members, and then we made some amendments by deleting board self-evaluation on page 15. And then we added some language so that the board handbook reflected more closely the employee travel policy. So the board handbook previously referenced the employee policy manual for travel. But the employee policy manual for travel cites the superintendent as the authorizing agency for all out-of-state travel. What this amendment does is makes the board president the authorizing agent for any board member travel out of state as opposed to the superintendent for obvious reasons. So this just makes your language reflect the language present for all employees as they travel and cleans up any confusion as to who the authorizing person for board member travel actually is. And as you know, board member travel currently in policy is restricted to 2 out-of-state conferences per year, and the superintendent is the authorizing agent. This retains that, but makes the board president the person with final approval. And the language reads, when referencing policy DJD, board members are considered to be employees. Additionally, all board member out-of-state travel shall have prior approval of the board president, who will consider the purpose of the travel, the overall cost of the school system, the benefits of the school district, etc. This is the language just as in policy for employees.
And we did add on the board member professional development, the cost for national conference.
Language changed there as well because we are no longer in the National School Boards Association, rather COSBA. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for pointing that out.
I move.
Motion by Dr. Dillard, second by Ms. Wells. Any public comment? Any board comment? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. It is unanimous. Item number 4, supervisory staff updates. A, elementary education, Ms. Ann Hudson.
All righty, real quick. These are just some of the big things we're working on right now. Professional development. In October, we will have the sport PE professional development held at Rayson Lower Elementary, and this will be for all of our elementary PE teachers and those that are teaching PE. We also have the K through 3 numeracy professional development required by Act 353. This was new legislation this summer. Approximately 100 teachers are registered, and they will go through the course throughout their year and receive, the district will pay them a stipend of $1,900 once they are complete. And then our elementary principals and assistant principals will be going through the structured literacy course. This is the part 2 of the science of reading course. And this is going to be a focus of all of our elementary schools. High dosage tutoring is in action. We received an allocation of $468,580. The purpose of this tutoring is to provide tutoring to eligible students in grades K through 5 that is embedded in the school day. And we have hired approximately 42 part-time tutors. That's my report.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hudson. You're welcome. B, secondary education, is Dr. Decina Lopez.
Hello. So through the secondary department right now, we have several things going on. Our robotics program is up and running. That's for middle schools. Our middle and high school sports seasons for the fall has started. We selected our student advisory council, which is students from each high school, and we will have our first meeting next week. And we also developed a computer science certification cohort for our teachers in middle and high schools, and they will receive professional development through the Southeastern University Energize Project, which will help them ultimately, hopefully become certified to teach computer science by taking the praxis at the end of the school year. And that's 15 teachers throughout our district who's participating in that. Our curriculum teams have been working with several teachers throughout the district. Our ELA team has started planning and implementing our new guidebook units. The math team is creating success criteria for math objectives. Our social studies teams are working on district assessments for the LEAP subjects, as well as curriculum resources for civics. And our science team developed curriculum resources for middle school science and also biology. For CTE, Career and Technical Education, we have applied for and received the Chevron grant, which was awarded, we were awarded $50,000. This will pay for middle school robotics, which I talked about earlier, as well as ACT for our 10th graders across the district. We started our Workforce Wednesday program, which is a collaborative effort between LaFouche Parish School District and the Thibodeau Chamber of Commerce, where they get local businesses to go in to present to our students in the Quest for Success classes in middle school. I want to mention those businesses. They volunteer to do this. That's Thibodeau Regional Healthcare, Terrebonne General Medical Center, John Deere, Bollinger Shipyards, Edison Schwest Offshore, Gulf Island, and also Grand Isle Shipyard. We have received an endowment from Fouchon Energy Association for the CMC, the Career Magnet Center. This was for $25,000, and we are using this to host industry nights in all 3 areas across the district. And lastly, we're working very closely with Edison Schwest Offshore, which they are helping us to be able to provide a course, maritime, that we could submit a maritime industry-based credentials bundle to the Louisiana Workforce Commission. So that's what's going on in secondary right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Woodley. C, federal programs.
Good evening. And so for early childhood, our expansion initiative continues with support of the Ready Start Network grant to continue to raise awareness of early learning programming and the need for increased access to seats for our youngest learners. Our advisory council meeting is scheduled for Monday. In federal programs, we are currently qualifying students for supplemental support services. We have our counts listed here. McKinney-Vento students, we are currently at 544, foster care 30, N&D 11, Indian Ed 822, EL 525, migrant 169, and pre-K 580. And we are anticipating the launch of our super app at our federal conference in October.
Thank you, Ms. Nicola. D, child welfare and attendance.
Today, CWA Department and several members of the district leadership team recently attended the Louisiana Law Conference held in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and hosted by Hammond Seals, Gaskins, Geis, Noah, and Perkins, LLP. They were informed of the changes in the current Louisiana law and addressed possible disciplinary scenarios for this upcoming year. We also met with Louisiana Education Program consultant Ms. Rayla Hunt to address current state attendance focus on everyday counts this year. Discipline numbers. We currently have 1,278 documented incidents resulting in 2,251 dispositions. Top 3 listed incidents of willful disobedience with 202, 15.81%. Every school officially violates rules 197, 15.41%. Unauthorized use of technology 166, 12.99%. Top 3 listed dispositions are in school suspension with 522, out of school suspension 323, and student conference with 242. So far, we have held 14 expulsion hearings this school year as of this date. Attendance, current school enrollment is 13,211, with our largest school being Central Lafourche High School at 1,335, and the smallest being North Rose Elementary in Bayou Buck at 219. Our average daily attendance for the parish is 94.14, which is almost at that 95% where they can stop breathing on our neck a little bit for that. And we currently have 6,330 students with perfect attendance. Hopefully we can hold that number above 500.
Wow.
Thank you, Mrs. Cook. Are there any questions for any of our directors or supervisors? All right, there being none, our meeting